Welcome back to the Biggest Loser betting show, a betting show for horrible bettors. Let's take a look back at what happened last week. Larry was our big winner, up $529 on the week. I was just behind him, 460. Deion also in the green at 72. Good week for the three of us. Bad week for our friend Carter Elliott. His second consecutive week of 0-3 bets, minus $500 again. And what has that done to the overall standings? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. Let's take a look. Carter has gone from first to fourth in the span of 2 weeks. Deion just hanging around the 500 mark. Larry's good week has brought him closer to even. And me, well, I did what winners do. I came from fourth to first in a span of 2 weeks since challenged by Carter Elliott. Let's get to this week's show. My name is Greg Waddell. I am joined by Lurk, the winner, and by Deion. And you may notice Carter Elliott's not here. Larry, you want to explain why Carter Elliott's not here?
Carter is backstage getting a makeover because he's one ugly fuck and I am out for revenge. Like, my villain origin story starts with me shotgunning the Four Locos and I'm out for blood.
Clearly. So just to be clear, none of the three of us have seen what this man looks like. His task was to get a makeover from his wife. And without further ado, presenting the elegant Carter Elliott.
You look so beautiful.
All right, first of all, I don't want to disrespect my wife's makeup game. My wife actually was not able to do this. She just told me where her makeup bag was and told me not to use a certain type of brushes. So I just started putting shit on my face. So I don't really know what I got going on. I got like a little black swan contour going. I think that's what that's called. Some eyeshadow and some other stuff. Lipstick.
You look like if Tito Jackson did Michael's makeup one day.
Yeah, I don't know. I
You
got
look like
a
a boxer at the end of the fight.
Okay, that's what's up.
What's
You look like that one picture of Sammy Sosa that like came on the internet.
I think it's the ring light, to be honest.
I just want to know what's on the lips. Like, did you just like stuff your lips on powdered donuts for 10
No,
minutes?
it's gold, but you can't really tell. It's gold.
You can
No way. That's not gold.
That's not gold. You just keep the lights on. You look,
You look like, what's that
All right.
character from Chappelle Show, Tyrone Biggums?
Larry, I think you've officially won best punishment pick of the year so far. So kudos to you. Carter, I'm sorry. You should probably win a bet soon because this is not a good look for you, my friend. It's not a good look for the sleepers either. This is bringing our stock down tremendously. Let's get to the bets this week. We are a betting show, just a betting show with horrible bettors. Larry, you're up first as the winner. 3 bets as always. What's your first one?
First bet, I'm going to put $250 down on the Bills minus 11 against the bum-ass Packers to win $227. The Packers stink. Bills are elite, coming off a bye week, fresh legs. And also, fun fact, the Bills are 4-1-1 against the spread and 2-0 with double-digit spreads. I love this. Packers stink. They can't score to save their lives. They lost by like 17 to the Jets a couple weeks ago. This is easy money.
Deion, you made a face. What do you think?
That's just a high number. This is a classic Lurk bet where he'll be here next week wondering how it lost. Like, no one loves double-digit spreads in bad games more than him.
No one. But like I said, and that's why I brought up that fact. Bills minus 14 covered the spread. Bills minus 10 covered the spread. Packers are one of the worst offenses in the NFL, even with Rodgers at quarterback.
Is something going on there, Cart?
No, I'm just not very comfortable.
Understood. Larry, bet number 2. What do you got?
Carter looks like he had an allergic reaction to something. But I'm going to take USC minus 15 against Arizona. Arizona stinks. Again, USC coming off the bye week, 15 points. I know it's a lot. Like Deion pointed out, I love those double-digit spreads. But USC is 5-2 against the spread, and their average margin of victory is about like 19 points. This is easy money.
Carterino, what do you think?
I can't really give any feedback. The brim on Larry's hat's way too distracting.
Wow, it's too flat for you?
No, it's way too big.
It's a fucking snapback, bro.
Andrew Jones would be proud.
Oh. Larry, what's bet number 3?
Yo, all right. So bet number 3, I'm gonna parlay Michigan State alternate spread. Michigan alternate spread minus 18.5 against Michigan State. And I'm gonna take Georgia minus 22.5 against Florida. Again, big spreads, but I'm all for it. 125 pays 312. Georgia's average margin of victory is 32.6. And anytime the spread is under 30, they've covered. So 22.5 should be easy. Michigan State is one of the worst football teams I've seen at any level. So I'm going to take the 18.5 points with that too.
There was some controversy around this pick, Larry. You originally wanted Michigan minus 10.5, insisted that's where the line opened up at. The line itself was at minus 21. You feel good about where this has landed at minus 18.5?
It's Michigan State, so it doesn't matter what the spread is. It could be minus 50. It's still a good bet. It's Michigan State they're going against.
Well, you could have
They
took the
fucking
actual
stink.
spread then if that was the case, jackass.
All right, we're going to go to my bets next. Carter's going to have more on Michigan State later. Number 1, I'm sticking with what worked for me last week. Oklahoma State money line, $200 to win $200. They're playing Kansas State. It's at Kansas State, which is why I think this is a pick 'em. Kansas State's not as good as Oklahoma State. They're out of the Big 12 race now after their loss to TCU last week. I think that was a season-crippling loss. They have 2 different quarterbacks that are hurt. I have no idea if either of those quarterbacks can play. Their third-string quarterback stinks. He blew an 18-point lead, and they lost by 2 touchdowns to TCU. Oklahoma State's good. They want this game. It matters. Spencer Sanders is back. OK State money line. Carter, what do you think?
I like that pick. That was actually going to be one of mine, but I didn't want to get attacked for not knowing if a quarterback is playing or not, which seems to be a theme on this show. But when you do it, I guess we're just letting shit fly.
I was going to say Adrian Martinez is playing on Saturday.
Okay. We don't know that, to be clear.
They said it during the broadcast last week that he was expected to play the following week.
Who said it? Kanye West or
the announcers of the when
Just trying to figure that out. All right, let's move on to bet number 2 for me, please. My bet number 2 this week is Syracuse money line. They're playing Notre Dame. I almost said North Carolina. I wish they were playing North Carolina. They're playing Notre Dame. Notre Dame's horrible. They have not really played anybody with a pulse. I know we say that Syracuse is lucky, but the thing is Syracuse almost beat Clemson, and Clemson's actually good. And Syracuse was moving the ball on them pretty much at will that entire game. I'm in on Q's now. This is a bounce-back spot. Deion's nodding, and I love when Deion nods. What do you think?
Hey, you.
Couple notes. You were the only one that said Cuse was lucky. To be fair. 2, I don't like Marcus Freeman, and Noel Ivy can't coach. So I'm
also
all in.
True.
Wait, real quick before you go to bet number 3, Deion, are you against anyone named Ivy?
Yes, that is Jaden's mother. So I'm against Jaden, and because he lost me a lot of money last year, so by association, I'm also against his mom.
Very nice countertops in the Ivy childhood home. Just want to throw that out there. All right, bet number 3. This would be Penn State money line, $30 to win $162. Listen, I spread 270 or 470 of my $500 budget on the first 2 picks because I like them so much. So I'm not going to spend 30 on something small. We got to go big. Ohio State truly hasn't played anybody. Ohio State's the better team here, but Penn State at home is weird. And if you go back through the Penn State, Ohio State games of the last decade, Penn State has had success against them at home, or it's been close games at home. CJ Stroud, not what people say he is. Definitely not Bryce Young. He's going to end up a Detroit Lion. We're going to be in purgatory for 20 years. Hopefully he throws 2 picks and Penn State steals this game. Larry, what do you think?
I'm 100% against this pick. Luckily, you only put $30 down, but Ohio State is going to smoke them.
Well, I have $30 to waste because I am the only person on this show who hasn't lost money this season. To Deion now, 3 bets. Bet number 1, what do you got?
I got Ole Miss. Forgot the line. My apologies. Minus 2.5. 200 to win 181. They're playing Texas A&M. I've fallen for the A&M trap every single week, essentially, where I'm like, this is the week where A&M looks like the team that was preseason top 10. They fucking suck. I think they were missing through like their whole left side of their offensive line last week. And they're not a good enough team to have injuries like that. Also, their quarterback, they spent like $30 million on NIL. They didn't think to recruit one single quarterback last year. I don't know. Yeah, that's that.
Okay, I'll respond. I don't like this bet simply because Deion took it and he has bad luck with Ole Miss.
I like that
That's
bet, Deion, for what it's worth.
Thank you. I also don't have bad luck with Ole Miss. I I took Tennessee. No, it doesn't matter. My second bet, Oklahoma -1 against Iowa State. Iowa State stinks. Oklahoma is not very good, but they're not very good because they have like a brand new coaching staff. I think they have plenty of talent on the roster, and they're starting to like put it together just a little bit. That blowout against Texas like rallied the troops.
Cart, you're very pretty tonight. Would you take Oklahoma or would you take Iowa State here?
I would take Oklahoma. I also want to stay for the fact that I see why like girls get ring lights and makeup. You could really do something like with this combination. Like if I knew how to do this, I would have really came serving in this bitch, but I didn't know how. But yeah, I like that bet.
All right, T on bet number 3.
I just want to point out Carter's not really doing anything at all with the ring light. There's filters that girls also use that we wish you had at the moment. But Dolphins -3 against the Lions. The Lions stink, man. This is a really bad football team. They're really poorly coached. They're undisciplined. Jared Goff is awful. They do have a couple young guys. Like there is like some sense of direction here, but there's nothing there that makes me think like the Dolphins aren't just going to maul them.
When we pitched the idea of this show to each other 2 months ago, I had no idea what to expect, but it's just hitting me now that the only possible conclusion of this was Carter wearing a bunch of makeup, nodding sadly as we one by one rip all of his teams to shreds, and he agrees. So good job, everyone involved. This was the obvious outcome all along, and we're all winners except for Carter for that. Cart, the floor is now yours. You have 3 bets this week, and I still can't believe that you look like this, my friend. What do you got?
All right, for starters, we got Kentucky plus 14.5. G, I would love your opinion on this one because you love key numbers. And I think 14.5 is a key number in this game with Kentucky playing Tennessee. They're coming off 2 weeks ago, the big win against Alabama. They played UT Martin last week. That's like basically just a walkthrough game. I think this is a spot where there's going to be a little bit of a letdown. I still think Kentucky's a good football team. They got Levis back. They got Christian Rodriguez at running back. I think they'll keep it within 2 touchdowns.
Cart, you know what I love even more than key numbers? That eyeliner, girl. That shit is popping. Ooh. Cart, take us to bet number 2.
Wait, you know what I love more than key numbers? Wrong lines. Isn't that line 12.5, not 14?
No, it's 13.5, and I bought a point. It's alternate.
Got you. My bad.
Okay. Michigan State plus 21.5. This was the actual spread of that game, not the made up fairyland that Lurk lives in. It's 150 to win 131. It's a rivalry game. To be honest, I can't remember the last blowout. I think it was when Shea Patterson was at quarterback. These teams are going to play close games. This is Michigan State's Super Bowl. Like they're gonna keep it close. I'm not saying they're gonna win the football game, but at 3 touchdowns, I'll take that spread.
So just to be clear, before we get Deion's thoughts, you're not saying they're going to win the football game.
I mean, it's not a great chance, but at 3 touchdowns, I think they'll keep it within 3 touchdowns. Yes.
Okay, so just on record, Carter is not saying they're going to win the football game. Deion, what do you think of this pick?
I like this one. Jim Harbaugh spent the weekend in the Bay, which means he sent the kids home for the week, most likely. I think this team's absolutely looking past Michigan State. I still think Michigan wins, but I think they keep it close. Michigan State's able to keep it close.
Wow. Okay. Cart, what's bet number 3?
You thought, bitch. It's time to talk about it. Michigan are some frauds. Michigan fans are pussy. You're crybabies. I hate you all. I hope you all wake up in the morning, stub your toe on your bed, go outside, slip on ice that might not be there because global warming's a real thing. We hate y'all. We're about to come up in your trap. We're taking over it on Saturday on my mother and my granny. We are winning that football game. $50 to win $550. Jim Harbaugh is a bitch.
Facts. I'm in.
Do you think that mother and granny would be really proud of you in this moment, Cart?
Talking about my mother and my grandma gave me this potty mouth. I heard bitch when I was 2 years old.
I'm not talking about
he's more talking about your face.
I'm talking about where you have put yourself in life to be in this moment right now and give that speech.
She raised a fucking 6'7" Himothy. She's good.
More like a she right now with what you got on your face. Larry, what do you think of this bet?
I think it's a horrible bet. Once again, luckily he only put a little bit of money. But, this is what Carter does. He places blind faith, hoping that they keep on chopping, but they ain't gonna do shit.
I'm with him. That speech has me all in. I'm taking Michigan State money line also.
Thank you. And
You had Deion sold once
listen
you
here,
shitted on
neckbeard, with your
Harbaugh.
Velcro strap beard. I'm not listening to shit you got to say.
Are you talking about a guy that's won 2 out of the last 3 weeks? You need to relax, buddy.
You got one
You
AirPod
went from
in. Why would I take
and
it?
you went from first to worst, and you got eyeliner on. Relax.
You're storing your
Relax.
hats on a deep freezer behind you.
Yes, that deep freezer is there for my hats.
There's a body in there.
right,
You're
well,
yo, stop stuffing your face with powdered donuts, okay?
I got makeup on. I'm ready to gun everybody down. Do you have anything to say, Professor Pronouns, above me?
I have one question. Who's worse,
What?
your makeup artist or your barber?
wait, am I Professor Pronouns?
Yeah.
I feel like G and I are just here to not get fined some
Why-
episodes.
Why am I?
Carter's hairline looks like a 3-point line right now. You need to relax, buddy.
You put your hair in a ponytail before you get in fights.
And you still got makeup on.
Your special power is super Vaseline.
All right, listen. I still can't process why I'm Professor Pronouns right now, but we'll move on. Look, not what I would have done as the person wearing makeup who has not won a bet on the show in 2 weeks to put all of my bets on Michigan State. Just not what I would have done. So, Larry, if I could propose for next week, maybe we could do the punishment where Carter has to wear a bra for 7 days running. That was my pitch this week, and no one would even necessarily see, but Carter himself would know that he's wearing a bra at all times, and I would love that.
I'd
So-
be sick if my wife hit me with the wrap around, take my bra off before we get down to it. I'd be sick.
Well, tune in next week to see if Carter truly is sick on the worst show on earth, The Biggest Loser.